Yo, what's good, my wolf pack? Up for the pack right here. And today, in this video, man, I'm gonna be talking about Eden Zero, Chapter 69, Rebecca's Nightmare. Now, even with the chapter being titled that, Rebecca's Nightmare, Rebecca's dream really was not a major factor in this story. Like, I thought a majority of the chapter was gonna be about this dream Rebecca had, and I honestly don't believe that Rebecca having this dream. I honestly don't believe Rebecca having a dream isn't gonna come as a factor in the current arc that we're in right now, because the Planet Sun Joe arc just ended literally last chapter, right? And right off the gate, we're starting off with some strange dream, or at the end of the chapter, Rebecca has this strange dream, and I honestly believe it's foreshadowing something. Like, I do not believe it's not gonna have some kind of factor in this arc, but yeah, like I was saying, I thought with the chapter being titled that, Rebecca's dream would take up most of the chapter, but it was honestly it was just a few panels and it was over with, right? So right off the gate, I'm just gonna talk about her dream first. Okay, Rebecca's dream. Okay, so Rebecca, she was soaking in the spa, and she was soaking in a spa, and where she first showcased that little bit of ether she had, where she blasted a hole through the ceiling, right? And she was talking to Happy about how she can't believe that she has her own ether gear now, and it's not what I originally thought it was. It's not like this gun cannon like blaster ether. It's speed. Her ether gear is in her feet, and it allows her to jump and move quickly and even rewind time, which is crazy. So her ether is speed, and she was talking Happy like, "Oh wow, I really can't believe I have an ether gear now, right?" And and they started talking about this race. They started talking about this race that Shiki, Pino, and Weisz took place in, right? Because when Rebecca told Weisz and Shiki about her getting her ether gear, Weisz started throwing a little temper tantrum about how she was copying his Arsenal robot suit because his robot suit utilizes speed, but Hermit shut all that down, saying, "Oh, your arsenal can be used for just about anything. Speed is just one of its components. Rebecca's ether gear is completely different from your arsenal." And Wise wasn't having it. He was like, that doesn't make it different. She's copying me. It's like it's like with superheroes. You never heard of any hero on the same team having the same kind of power. And Rebecca was all like, "But we're not superheroes." And it was then Shiki who came up with the idea of having a race, right? So what happened was in the race, Pino utilized her EMP to shut down Wise's, Rebecca's, and Shiki's ether gear, and she basically just ran towards the finish line and beat them in a race because she wanted to take part in it. And initially, I had a feeling she was gonna win, but I didn't think she was gonna use her EMP to do so. But yeah, Pino basically shut down her ether gear and ran to the finish line, and she won. And Rebecca was laughing just thinking about it when her and Happy was just chilling in a spa, right? And they showed this little funny scene of Hermit yelling at Pino because when Pino utilizes her EMP, it shuts down everyone ether gear and robots on board. And of course, the four star shines are robots, right? So Hermit was all like, "Please don't use your EMP on the ship. It shuts down my body, and something can go wrong with the ship." And Pino was like, "Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't realize." All right. So now get into Rebecca's dream, right? Basically, Rebecca and Shiki, they were fighting against these weird mechs, these weird robots, and it starts off with Shiki taking Rebecca and dodging some sort of explosion or bullets. I couldn't really tell. And Shiki was all like, Rebecca, shoot them. And Rebecca was all like, shoot them, but I don't I don't have my guns. And then she realizes Happy isn't with her. She's all like, oh, where's Happy? Right? And so yeah, sorry, I was interrupted. Okay. So yeah. Shiki and Rebecca are dodging explosions. Shiki tells Rebecca to shoot at the robots or their enemy, whoever they're fighting, and she's all like, shoot them, but I don't have my guns. And then she realizes Happy isn't with her. And she asks Shiki, hey, where's Happy? And Shiki's like, Happy? How is a dead cat going to help us with anything? And it was at that moment Rebecca is distraught and she instantly wakes up from that nightmare. Like it was a very short scene, right? And when Shiki said, "How was a dead cat gonna help us with anything?" Rebecca wakes up. That was the end of the dream. Now, in this dream, Shiki he wasn't acting like his normal self. All right, he seems the way he was drawn and the way he looked. He looked it was if he was being portrayed as very cold. He wasn't his normal goofy self. Now we've seen Shiki serious, right? We've seen Shiki serious, so we know what he's like, but he never comes off as cold. And in this dream, he just looked like he was tired. That he didn't want to deal with what was happening. It's hard to explain. He just wasn't acting like he normally would, right? He wasn't behaving like his normal self. All right. So I'm wondering. I'm wondering if that has something to do with the arc that we're currently in right now, because the Sunjo arc just ended, and the ending of this chapter threw me completely off. Because when Rebecca woke up from her dream, right? We find out that she's in Sister Ivory's room, which is also the infirmary room, and I guess a torture room because Sister Ivory was torturing Moscow, I guess. But she called it what did she call it? An interrogation room. I don't remember. But Moscow was all tied up for some reason. I have no idea why. But she woke up in Sister Ivory's room, and Sister Ivory was all like, "You passed out in a spa. You know, you really can't stay out of trouble, can you?" And Rebecca, she was freaking out from her dream, from the dream she had, and she was all like, "Where's Happy?" And Happy was all like, "Oh, I'm right here." You know, he was standing right next to her, and she grabs him, pulls him into a hug. And, you know, she's crying, and Happy's all like, "Oh, what's wrong?" And Rebecca's just like, "Oh, you know, I just had a bad dream." And so it was at that point where Sister Ivory tells Rebecca about how she's been out for an hour and how during that time that a giant warship was following them. And she says that they managed to lose it, but it got back on their trail. And we all know that the person in which that warship belongs to is Drakken Joe and his crew because he's interested in Eden Zero for some reason. He believes there's some money in Eden Zero that or rather, he wants to sell or take the ship for money or something like that. I don't know, but yeah. So that's why he's chasing them, right? So we know the warship belongs to Drakken Joe, right? So Sister Ivory was all like, "Oh, we got rid of the ship, but it's back." And she says, Shiki found out. Oh, Shiki is so cool. I love the boy Shiki. She says, Shiki found out, and we see this scene of him, right? He says, I can't remember exactly what he said, but he says, these guys has been following us. These guys has been following us around for a long time, and I won't stand for it. I'm gonna go take him out. I'm paraphrasing. That's not exactly what he said. It's just it was something along those lines, right? And the witches are like, no, Shiki, we can't afford to get into a battle right now. It will be detrimental to the ship, right? And he was all like, witches are like, we really can't afford to get into a battle right now. And she was all like, well, that's why we're not going to let them know we're coming. We're going to hit them first before they hit us. So he gets Homura and Weisz in a sneak up into like a back entrance of the warship, and they're all suited up, looking fly, and Shiki's talking to Hermit through an earpiece, and she's all like, "All right, this mission is to gather information. We don't know who these people are, but we can only assume that they're an enemy. If they're an enemy, be careful." All right, again, paraphrasing, but basically, if they're an enemy, if the person behind in the ship is an enemy, be careful. And Shiki's all like, Roger that, and that's where the chapter ends. But what made the scene so funny to me was when Sister Ivory tells Rebecca that Shiki decided to storm the warship. She said like, Rebecca was all like, "Oh my God, please tell me he didn't do what I think he did." And Sister Ivory was all like, "Yep, he did exactly what you think he did." It's like, I love Shiki so much, man. I love Shiki. So yeah, there was okay. I covered just about everything else that happened in this chapter, except for one thing. All right. So Homura is is the new Valkyrie. She is a part of the four star shines because Valkyrie passed away. Valkyrie died. So Homura stepped up to the plate and became a member of the four star shines. And so she was in the hangar of the ship talking to Witch, right? Homura was talking to Witch in the hangar of the ship, and Homura asks, what do the star shines do? And basically, Witch said, they just serve under the Demon King. They do whatever the Demon King says, but she then says they never really looked to Ziggy as a supervisor, more so as a friend, and they look to Shiki the same way. So they don't really view the Demon King as their boss. And so, they then started talking about how they were going to get through the Dragon Falls to get to Mother. And, Homura says, I remember you said that, without the four star shines, um, Eden Zero wouldn't have a chance of getting past the Dragon Falls and reaching Mother. And which is, um, I was speaking oh my God, Jesus Christ. I was speaking hypothetically. Oh my, I can't talk, I'm sorry. I was speaking hypothetically, okay? You can get through the Dragon Falls without the four star shines, but it would be extremely difficult. So, and then she says, you basically need, you would need, she then says, she needed the Valkyrie to utilize the weapons that they had to blast through the dragons that were blocking their way of reaching Mother, right? It was Valkyrie's job to maintain all the weapons and all that. And they were going to use those weapons, guns, warships, mechs, all that jazz to blast through the dragons, right? And then there was another weapon, a giant weapon, which is a secret on a ship that only the four star shines know about. Nobody else can know about it. It's a giant secret on the Eden Zero, and it's code code 3171, I believe, and that's just another name for Etherion. Now, which was gonna tell Homura what which was going to tell Homura about what Etherion actually was, other than a weapon. But Homura was all like, which also said that you can't tell anybody. You can't tell Shiki, Rebecca, or anybody else on the ship. And Homura was all like, but I'm not good at keeping secrets. I don't know if I'll be able to keep that a secret. So which is all like, yeah, you're right. I'm just gonna tell you later when when it's time for everybody to know. So yeah, man. We got Homura really stepping up to the plate to be a star shine. We found out that the secret that I'm assuming the room that Weisz and Shiki tried to get in early on in the series. I'm assuming that was the room that Weisz and Shiki tried to get in earlier on in the series, but which wouldn't let them go in. I'm assuming Etherion is that room. But yeah, man, we got Homura stepping up to the plate. Uh, we got we got Pino winning the race. We got Shiki and the crew storming Drakken Joe's ship, and we got a little bit. We had a little bit of a dream sequence with Rebecca. But yeah, man, that was basically the chapter in its entirety. I enjoyed it a lot. I really liked this chapter. You know, it was some lightheartedness, some seriousness. It was overall pretty fun. It was great. I really enjoyed the chapter. You know, sitting here doing this review, it kind of makes me wish that I kept doing reviews up to this point, because my first review was chapter 20 and my last review was chapter 35, and I stopped because I wore myself out on these reviews doing like five in a day. You know, I would miss a chapter and I would not do a review for weeks on end, and then I will binge all the chapters. I will binge all the chapters, binge record all the chapters in a day, and that really blew me out, and so I stopped. But sitting here doing this review, I realized that I miss doing them. I enjoy doing this review. I always meant to come back and do a review, but you know, life keeps a dude busy. You know, especially when you got a kid and a wife. You feel me? But I've been meaning to get back to it, man, and I think I'm gonna try to do it more often. I think I'm gonna try to do it more often. Do these reviews again. This is cool. I liked it. I missed it. But yeah, man, the chapter was good. I'll give it. I'll give it a 3 out of 5 stars. You know, it was decent. I'll give it a 3. But yeah, man, that's basically it. You know, I honestly wasn't expecting them to face off with Drakken Joe so soon. The Sun Jewel arc just ended. We just got done with Her and I, right? I thought we were gonna have a few chapters of like filler, you know, just fun moments, goofing off. I even thought we were gonna go back to Blue Garden. No, we getting right into some action. We're going right at Drake and Joe. I was not expecting that. I was not expecting that. That took me completely off guard. I was so hyped, I threw my phone, no lie. I legitimately threw my phone when I saw Shiki, Wise and Namoro go towards Drake and Joe Shep. I was like, what? And I threw my phone. Oh man, I can't believe we're doing it so soon. I thought we would have a whole nother arc or something. At least a few chapters in between then from now. You feel me? So it really took me off. It really took me off guard. So I'm excited. I can't wait for chapter 70, man. I'm really invested. These chapters, Eden Zero has been godlike, bro. Godlike. And it's only getting better. Each arc is better than the last. It really is. But yeah, man, that's all I have to say. Peace out, my wolf pack. Your alpha has spoken.